Mansfield in the morning.
I'm going to start in a serious place but move to the positive.
Okay.
So last night I was called to go, and I do have a permit, I want to say, as a priest. I was called to go to a friend of mine who'd been fighting cancer for 8 years. And I was fully aware then of the difficulties of COVID, as well as the positives of how it's drawing us together as people as we share on a deeper level. And so he did pass last night, and the undertakers came, but the wife was sharing, and I already knew that because I'd helped, that while he was in ICU, she couldn't visit him at all, and eventually the hospital released him for palliative care at home, which was a beautiful thing. But I was just aware of how COVID is impacting on people's lives, more than just the people struggling financially and for food and so on. It impacts all areas of our life. But also in a good way, because when the undertakers arrived, they were sharing with me the struggles they're having. But we connected on a much deeper level, as humans in this struggle together, in this fight together. And I thought that was a positive.
I don't know how you do your job. I really don't.
It is a privilege to do my job.
Well, that told you.
It has very hard times, but it also has beautiful times. And the beautiful times are the connection with people. So that's one of the things for me that's happening on a deeper level as we travel through COVID, is that we are connecting on a deeper level. And that's exciting, because for me, life is about connection. And then I was listening to a video by Marcus Neves, and he was talking about how the history books are going to talk about these incredible times that our society is having, the experience that we're living. And I think that's what I'm bringing in from last night. It's the experience we're living, it's different. And I don't know if we're ever going to go back to the normal, what we saw as normal. But he came out with 10 words that encapsulate the most impressive changes he's seen in terms of the strange period of isolation that we're going through. And I just want to look at a few of them this morning. The first is digitally, and I've become aware of this as we've had some hilarious Zoom sessions with people who don't know how to use it.
Yes, true.
On their side on the screen, they've muted themselves and so on. But he was saying that we've advanced about 10 years in 60 days. We've learned that there's a huge amount that we can do at home, and we can even do contracts at home. And he feels it will change the face of business going forward, because people have worked out that they don't have to go into the office, they don't have to travel overseas. And this is a positive for the world, he feels, in terms of, and I can see that in terms of the environment, that we won't be flying as much. Yeah. It's not great for the economy, but we have learned to do things differently. And even the universities and schools have gone digital, and I think it's driving a lot of parents mad, actually. The second word he used was home, and I loved that, because we all went into our homes, wherever that was, whether it was a house or just a one-bedroom place, but we had to go back to our homes, and we had to work from home, and we had to be with our families. So behaviors changed and understandings changed, and people got to know each other again in that home. Sometimes positively, sometimes maybe not so positively, but we were given that opportunity to work out what is home. And again, it won't be the same normal when we go back. Home has a different meaning. He felt that simplicity was another word. I'm not convinced it's going to last, but he said that he thinks that we'll have simpler lives after this. And that may destroy jobs because we're not going to buy things that are not useful. I'm not convinced of that. I think as humans, we are still going to go out and buy things that are not useful, myself included. So yes, I know that we should live a more simple life, and I know that simplicity is the way to go, and minimalist and so on. But I think I might actually do some retail therapy every now and then. And then he talked about the engagement, and that's what I'm talking about, the connection. That we're much more engaged with each other as a society, that we want to get involved together. And the last thing that I want to look at is to do with nature. He said we've learned to respect nature more. And I think that's one of the beautiful things that has come out of this, and one of the frightening things, that we've realized that we're not in control. We might think we are, but we're actually not. And that we need to respect nature and be aware of our impact on nature, and actually preserve what we have and be careful of the way in which we walk on this earth. And so this morning I want you to think about words that you feel have come out of this. And the very, very last one is neo-nationalism. I do want to mention that we are going to be shopping locally. And I've heard so many people say that. We want to support the local people. And governments are saying they need to find the gaps where they ran out of stuff and they couldn't get it, and actually make sure that they produce it in their own countries. And that's a positive.
It's funny you say that, because it's one of the things that we've said at this radio station. And that came Well, it's been a policy of the radio station since it was started, but it's come out so definitively in this time is support people in your area, local businesses.
I even had someone phone me on Friday and says, the radio station, can't you have a register of the local businesses? And I said, well, that's not my department. But
well, watch the space.
okay, watch the space. There you go, watch the space. But my message today, go and think about the word that you think, a positive word of what's come out of this for you. May God bless you and keep you safe.
Thank you,
for
Rick.
listening.
Thank you, Rick.
Here it comes! It's Mansfield in the morning. Driven by Sandown Motors, your Mercedes-Benz partner. On